Afternoon, everybody. How are we doing today? Sorry, I have been on a bit of a hiatus, but things are just fixing my hair. Things should be getting going. Hopefully, I won't be on any more breaks like this, but fingers crossed. So, let's get this show on the road. I don't want to spend too much time just sitting here doing nothing. But I just wanted to let you guys know that I've kind of fixed some of the issues that we've been having. We had issues with internet connectivity. I've gotten that straightened out. And then an issue that kept me from streaming last week was actually just that bees were invading the studio here, and I couldn't record. So that is all straightened out, and now we're just gonna get into the game. So let me adjust the make sure the sound is down. There we go. Turn the music down. I'll turn it down a little more, and maybe I'll just do it like this. Hey, Stasnak, it's going pretty good. We've been like I was saying, we've had a couple of hiccups, which is why I have not been around, unfortunately. But those are all pretty well straightened out. Probably the most annoying one was the bees invading the studio, because I could have streamed that day. Like, I had everything ready. And stuff was ready to go, and it was just like every time I would turn on the lights. I did try holding my breath. The problem with that is it's very hard to... I mean, I suppose I could stream the whole time just being silent, but then I wouldn't know why you'd be watching. But yeah, so we got them cleared out. But that day, honestly, no joke, the day that was the worst was that Thursday, because the day before, on a week ago Wednesday, it was like 3 bees, and then the following day was like 9, and then the days after it went back to like 4, and then I finally like got them contained. And now they're all gone. And hopefully now that it's cold out now, they shouldn't be coming back. So. But that was the worst part, because it was definitely just like, oh, I could be streaming right now if there weren't bees flying around. And literally, like, where they were flying is basically right behind the monitor here, because that's where the window is. So they were just, like, bouncing around, and then I'd turn the lights on. And then they'd be like, oh, exciting, lights! So they would just fly towards my face, which I'm not really scared or bothered by bees, but when they're, like, this close to my face, I'm like, please go somewhere else. So, alright, let's transition things over here. I honestly, because it's been such a long time, I can't quite remember what it was we were doing last time. So, we're gonna figure this out. If it decides to show the game. There we go. I notice I got a little bit of issue with the chroma here, but I'm not going to spend too much time fiddling with it. I hope you guys can just kind of ignore it. It's a little hidden by the AI. Not AI, the UI. Yes. Yeah, I respect anything. Like, this is my methodology when they first started coming into my room. Like, I could take them one-on-one, but then the more of them relative to me, the less likely that I was going to come out of it without a scratch. Yeah, we're doing some Rise of Rome. We're kind of continuing this campaign we've got going here. We've been slowly trying to make our way across the peninsula, and our goal is more like building up a base of client states and allies. So we've got the Volsky as a client, the Marasini, the Picentes, the Sabines, the Umbri. I know at some point I want to get the Iqui to pop back out here. We'll probably have to tank this with... I'll have to destroy these and make slums, and I can leave that edict up, but basically force these people to revolt. I'll park some armies near the other towns so that only this one is the one that gets the rebels, and then we'll force them to be a client state. I really like it, Stasnek. I think the best part about it, honestly, is just how much kind of detail there is to the map. Like, because playing the Grand Campaign, like, Italy is like, what, maybe 8 settlements? But this actually really kind of gives you a whole lot to expand. So you've got, the area around Rome is just a 2 settlement province. It might be that, but I'm also kind of including like Sicily. So, Magna Graecia is, it's Brundisium, Croton, I think, or Regium, Syracuse, and Lilybæum in the Grand Campaign, and then you've got, and then I don't know if you include Cisalpine Gaul, which I suppose isn't really Italy until the very end of the Grand Campaign. Then but definitely I prefer this map, and I think I'm gonna stick in the Rise of Rome campaign through to the Punic Wars, and then we can actually hop right into the Hannibal DLC, which I'm drawing a blank. Is it Hannibal at the Gates, I think? And then I've already actually played a grand campaign up to around 200 BC, so we can literally just bang from this to the Hannibal campaign and then straight into a grand campaign when we get there. Although I'm thinking that once I have the time, I'll just have alternate days, because otherwise you guys are going to be waiting forever for me to get to playing the Empire Divided DLC or Attila. It'll just be all right, stick around. In 6 years, folks, we'll be there. And I don't want to do that. So, all right, let's figure out what exactly we were in the middle of. So I can see that we've got this army is on forced march, but I don't know where it's supposed to be going. Are we at war with anyone right now? Just the pirates. All right, and our public order is positive across the board, and food is pretty good. So I think, if anything, now might be the best time to try and focus on getting a revolt here in Alba Thucens, because we don't have any other crisis going on. So let's... I suppose now I'm going to have to backtrack these guys. If I put you here, you can kind of guard Riate. And if I put you here, you can guard this city. Of course, the huge military presence is going to not help us tank the public order, so I'm going to have to dismantle you. Dismantle you. I can get an additional -1 public order by making the city bigger. I can expand it for even more slums. This is going to absolutely demolish our food supply, which is not fantastic, but we'll have to make it work. My one concern is all of my client states are probably going to send their armies up to defeat the rebels, because they've been really good at annoying me in that way. So, we'll just have to keep our eyes out for that. We don't have anything else going on. We're still in the middle of, we're going for the bonus public order is probably not what we want right now, but we're probably too far into, considering how much these techs are, a minimum of 6 it looks like. We're probably 4 turns into this. I don't want to waste it. But I might, after that's done, I'll transfer to some military techs so that we're not undoing our own work. We're going to leave this army here in Corfinium because I know that the nomadic, Herpini tribe will show up here and attack it. And at some point, I will let them take it and make them a client, just like everyone else. But right now, Corfinium is our gateway to dealing with these guys. So we gotta hold on to it. Especially if we're about to give up a walled settlement up here. So let's end the turn. We've got someone who's got to level up, so let's make sure that that happens. It's one of our veterans. Alright, so he's our best for unit experience because he's got the plus 30 from his athlete ability, plus 30 experience gained per turn, and he's fully tier 3 on the drill sergeant track, which also gives him a plus 100. So I don't think there's anything else that we can do. What is this? Plus 1 experience ranks for native recruits in local province while deployed. So that might be the best other one that we can do. It won't impact most of our Roman troops, but if we do have any allied troops, which I think, especially once we get, let me make sure the music's playing. Yeah, once we get now I'm drawing a blank. Oh, the maniple reform. So we're not running with the hoplite style military, but we're using hastati and principes. We'll be using more allied troops and having, not that this guy will live that long, but using that perk to, or that skill to increase native troops will be good. Alright, so end the turn. At some point we're going to have to deal with Tarentum. They're getting pretty powerful down in the south. But it is kind of early for us to be tangled up with them. I mean, we're at this point in the 370s. I don't even think we've started fighting with the Samnites yet. Historically, anyway. So our client states aren't quite getting along. As long as our client states don't go to war with each other, that's good, because then we have to pick a side. But if they're neutral to each other, that's fine. And if they're allied to each other, that's great. But we can't count on that. So if I go to fortify and fortify, does that do anything for public order? Reinforcement range, replenishment, barricades, melee defense skill. Nope. No. None of that. No slums have appeared yet. Although next turn we're going to get a population surplus, and then we can create even more slums here. I don't know if I want to, but we're at 100 public order. It's going to take forever. If it goes down by like 2 a turn, it's going to take forever for a revolt to pop. Not without some sort of bad event. And I suppose I can take a bad event deliberately. When like a Conflict of the Orders event pops up, we can go for something like that. Let's see if there's any recent. Growth from food surplus, early Republic influence. Favor from Carthage was the last event that we've had, and that already is giving us -2 public order. So we're gonna have to just be watchful for that. Can we? I don't remember what our consuls give us. Morale boosts, provincial bonuses. We don't really need a dictator right now. Politics, is everyone happy with us? Yeah, more or less. So I've been playing a little bit of this on my own, and to be honest, I'm doing a conquest run, so I'm not just trying to take all of these cities, like little towns as clients, and it is snowballing so quickly. So, we have control of a pretty large area as it is, and I could definitely support. I've got taxes right now at low instead of normal, and we're only making a little bit of cash, but if I bumped it up, I bumped it back to normal, almost 1,500, we have enough cash to really keep at least one war going constantly, and with the income you make from capturing places and everything else, it's so quick to just balloon out of control. So in my home game, I have control all the way up to the Po River here. I think that's the Po. I'm not sure, but I think that's the Po because the Rubicon is here, right? So I've got control all the way up to the Po River, and then down I've got all of Samnium and Frentani here. I just captured Apulia, and I just captured Campania. So just this little bit, the very heel and kind of the toe of Italy, is left for me to conquer, and obviously everything up here. And I'm probably 20-25 years ahead of where we are right now. So it's going by real quick if I just go conquest. So let's see. We've got some money to burn. I don't want to waste all of it. Let's make sure we do focus on our economy, though. Samnium, we have no taxes in because of the public order, I believe. Although it's doing pretty well. Hold on, I gotta sneeze really bad. One moment here. Sorry about that. I had felt the tickle for the longest time, and I'm like, can I hold it? Can I hold it? Will it go away? And then it was not working. So, what do we got? I can increase public order here by improving these buildings. I'm going to wait on that because Samnium isn't making us any money. Our most profitable province is Latium. And how's the public order? Public order's +6. We're getting some cultural differences and some slaves. The taxes they're happy about, and the squalor, not much we can do about. We will reduce public order by building a trader, but I want one because it's going to stack with our vineyard. So we'll go with that. I really want a slave trader, for the wealth, but that will cancel out all of our public order bonuses right now. We're getting pretty close to... Well, we'll be at 1 surplus population. We'll need 2 to get another building here, but we can wait on that. And right now this gives us 1 public order, so we'll leave that as is. Sabinia gives us a decent amount of money, but that is going to change once slums start kicking in and we lose Alba Fusens. So Vey is our next most profitable after that. And I honestly don't know what we should go for here. We're at 0 public order, so I don't... Why? It's all the slaves. So we might just have to sit on some of this money for a little while.
We value friendship and look forward to receiving gold in abundance.
Alright, so the Samnites want a non-aggression pact. They want me to pay for it. Let's see if we can get it a little bit cheaper. Good enough.
Wow.
Saved us a
There
little
has
bit of
been
money.
Wisdom at work here. The gods are smiling upon you.
And means that we don't have to worry about them declaring war on us right away. Unless they want to be backstabby. I didn't actually check their personality. I saw that they were warlike, but it didn't look like they were treacherous to me, but we'll check it again when we get the chance. Alright, Conflict of the Orders. We can make the plebs angry with us. So I can rebuke the accusations. I can speak in favor of the senator. I can investigate. Investigate will definitely make the patricians mad at us. Like the nobles mad at us, but the plebs will be happy for it. I can wait it out, which I think is just bad all around. I think that'll just piss off the plebs. Yeah, so this is like the piss off the plebs, this is the piss off the patricians, and these are kind of... this one has a chance of pleasing everybody, or at least making them like meh to everything, and rebuke the accusations. Like, that's why the problem I have is with these 4, because I'm not sure. There's like degrees of how successful they will be. So I'm going to go with wait it out, because I think that's the best chance for us pissing off the plebs. We got slums. We've got the technology has just been researched. Oh yeah, let's quickly check the Samnites. They're warlike, but they're loyal, so they're not going to stab us in the back with a non-aggression pact. So only one of the slums has appeared. These 2 haven't yet. So we're just going to have to be patient on that. Right, we're going to go with the military tech. Bonus attack against Etruscans. Bonus damage from cavalry. Charge bonus. Melee defense, morale. A lot of these are good. This is useless, the naval training. Not that I dislike naval combat in this game, I'm quite fond of it. It's just... you don't really get an opportunity to use it well. It's just... unfortunately, navies are expensive. They're much more expensive than land armies. And then, the biggest problem that you have, I'm going to tab out of this for a second. The biggest problem that you have is, even if there is a navy out here somewhere, which I'm not seeing any, oh, here's one. Even if there are navies out here somewhere, let's say that I wanted to attack the Etruscan League navy here. I'll build up a navy in Antium, and I will send it after these guys. And the AI will pretty much always leave their navy in like rapid stance. And if I can go into rapid movement stance, I can't attack them, even if I can catch up to them. If I don't go in rapid movement stance, I can't catch up to them, but I could attack them if they were close enough. So it's basically, you permanently can never get a good naval combat. The only instances that you get them are usually around port cities when they're attacking them. So as much as I like it, it's really kind of, I feel like the tech tree bonuses to naval combat are kind of an afterthought because of how useless naval combat is. And I wish it wasn't the case, because I think the naval combat in in Rome Total War, or in Total War Rome 2 and Attila, is really fun. I like the ramming. I think it can be frustrating sometimes, which is actually something I look for, because if battles went too easy or too hard, it wouldn't be any fun. But there's just a level of difficulty where I'm frustrated that I feel like I could win some battles that I don't, and I feel like that's the most realistic thing. So let's see what we've got. I think we'll just go with Taming Etruria. I mean, at some point, we are going to face off against Etruscans again. The Etruscan League is there. You know, I'm just going to bring up this map. So we've got the Etruscan League here and here. I believe Aratim is also an Etruscan faction. So there's quite a bit up there. Although Illyria seems to be spreading like some sort of disease. So we'll see. I mean, we're going to need to research all these things to get to the end game text anyway, so... I forgot what our objectives are. Hold 7 provinces, and we have 5. Trade with 4 factions, we've got 3, and we've already completed this one, so good. So once again, we gotta wait on slums, wait on revolt. A lot of waiting, just passing the time. That's one of the downsides to. One of the downsides I feel in the Total War games is that when you're not at war, the game feels a little bit poorly paced. Like, during a war, there's a lot of decision making, and then when you have a long period of peace, like, the game doesn't emphasize being at peace, right? I mean, it's called Total War for a reason. But the thing is like, you know, there were, you look at Roman history, there were also decades of peace. And for me to play out at, 4 or more turns per year, a decade, it's 40 turns of me just sitting on my hands. It's like, oh, research technology, build buildings. I feel like it's not very exciting for you guys to watch. So you guys let me know if you agree with that statement, but I certainly think that it's dull. But at the same time, I don't want to be, here we go, angry plebs. You get 6 public order, which is pretty good. And the patricians are, they mildly positive. So let's see here. We're still positive everywhere but Veii and Sabinia, which is what we want. It is amazing to me that with 3 slums, each giving -6 public order, they're still only at -10. Yeah, -22 public order from Squalor, but the characters, I suppose I could... Like, if I take this veteran out... do anything? Or is it just... We're experimenting here. So these guys do not contribute to the public order. It's literally just the generals. And let's see what their stats are. Maybe we can replace them temporarily. Minus 20% public order penalties due to presence of foreign cultures. So he's actually having some effect. I know, what is it, Gravitas? I can't check it there. I have to go in here. Authority, cunning, zeal. What is it? I'm trying to see. I believe that there are... I don't know. I believe that some of their individual, like, personal stats, like these, actually do affect public order, but I don't. Let's check him, because he's one of the actual characters that we have on the field there. I guess not. Maybe it's just in my head. Or it's one of their other things. None of these give public order. Traits, though. That's a minus to public order. Negative to morale. +3 public order for being a next dictator. +6 for being a triumphing general. So yeah, that explains him. So that's Catullus. Who's the other one? Furious Camillus Lucius. So what have you got? +3. Alright. So if we temporarily reassign... if we reassign you... you seem unimportant. Alright, let's see what you've got going on. 10% morale, loyalty, +2 public order, but I feel like... yeah, look, we're at -16 now. And let's replace you as well. It's very... I suppose it is a very odd thing to be looking for, like, terrible characters to deliberately incite a revolt. +19. There we go. So we're at 100. It'll take us around 5 to get to 0 and another... So we're talking like 8 turns. No, more than that. I'm sorry. Like 11 turns, potentially, before this goes into full-blown revolt. We can increase that by increasing the size of the city. I don't know if there's anything else that we can do. Since we know these guys have no effect, I'll send them back for military training, though. Alright. Once that's done, we'll go. We'll see what these, one of our, not diplomats, dignitaries. I like the research rate. I think getting tech faster is good. So we'll end the turn. Alright. That's annoying. I don't know what to do here. Because this is basically dragging, like, my client states are going to war with each other and dragging each other in on all of this BS. Alright, do I want to defend Marosini, the Picentes, and the Umbri against the Volsky and the Sabines, both of whom are mad at me? Or do I break my alliance with these guys? I'm going to break my alliance, and then here's what I'm going to do. Go into a little behind-the-scenes thing here for a minute. All my alliances are broken. Alright. Or all of these alliances are busted. Carthaginian slaves. Confiscating slaves. Done. You know, I don't think I've ever done the buy the slaves myself. Alright, so who's at war here? I need to figure this crap out. So the Marosini are at war. So you're still my client. The Sabines, the Umbri, the Volsky. And the Marosini are at war with just the Sabines. So I've got 1, 2, 3. So out of my five client states, only one did I have to drop. Although I think the rest are kind of slightly peeved. So here's what we're gonna do. I'll show, because I at this point I am tired of dealing with the stupid like internal politicking between these guys. So for a little break till they all like relax, I'm gonna do a little bit of cheating so you guys can see the behind the scenes of what it is I'm doing. So let's save the game here. Stream. Alright, what I am gonna have to do is 1 second here. I'm gonna go to, I know you guys can't see this, but I will make it visible in just a moment. Alright, so we're gonna add a new scene, add window capture. Perfect. There you go. Here's a save parser. We're gonna edit our save file. It's gonna open our save game right there. Open that up. And we're just gonna tell these guys to knock it off. Stop going to war. We'll make Morosini our client state again. We might do a couple of other things to make them weak so that they stop doing this nonsense. Alright, so we need to go to diplomacy, parse, Morosini, I believe. You guys can see that, right? Yeah. Can I make it any bigger so you guys can see it a little bit more clearly? Alright. So, they're at war with... Well, for one, you shouldn't be at war with these guys. You should be not at war with those guys. And you should not be at war with those guys. So, parse. Hey, look. Peace. Look at this. I'm the world's greatest diplomat. Will not cover my face while I do that. World's greatest diplomat. I have created peace in mere moments. Tell you what. You'd be at war with the Illyrian pirates. Perfect. I don't know. Is there a way to get... I want to give them all like non-aggression, or force them all into non-aggression pacts, but I don't think that there's a way to do that. Let's see. They were just at war with the Sabines. Now I know you can't see. You can't see this other window that I've opened up. I suppose I could do screen capture instead of window capture, but oh right, I do need to do so I need to go faction, not faction, I need to go diplomacy, Rome, and I am protector of these guys. Where are they? Value. Right, that's not capitalized. Accept changes and close. Parse. And then, just to make sure that the phrasing is correct, let's check someone who is still definitely so the Sabines are status client state. So there's an underscore there. So we got to do that for the Marasini. So we're going to go there. We're going to go to Rome. And we're going to change their... I'm going to change their status vis-a-vis us to client state. Because I'm tired of their shenanigans. Alright, so now I've got to go to all of my little allies, and I got to tell them that peace is the new way forward. So they're our client state again. We're going to just make you neutral. Clearly, alliances is bad. Alright. So, starting from the top, we have Rome. Who are we at war with? Anybody? Just the Illyrian pirates. Good. Samnites, Sinan, Syracuse, Taranto, Tarchuna, Islay, Veneti, and Subres. None of these are our guys. So Marasini is the first. And we've already fixed their relations. Picentes. You are neutral. And you are also neutral. That's right. Sabines. You're neutral. Apparently everybody hates you. Artem Umbri. You are neutral to everybody and you have no alliances with anybody. That's what I like to see. And the Volsky. You're at war with the Samnites. Why? We just signed a non-aggression pact, so stop making trouble. I'll make all my clients at war with the Illyrian pirates. Because that should be pretty safe. So Volsky, Umbri, Illyrian pirates, war. It will distract them all, and I think them all being at war with the same folks will make them have a slight diplomacy buff with each other. Or I could be wrong. If I am wrong, oh well. It might at least keep them distracted. Santis Marcini. And you're already there. Alright, good. Last thing, we're going to go faction, parse. Volsky. Umbri, you do not. Sorry, Umbri, you do not need that much money. You're allowed 2,000. You're allowed 2,000 as well. That should keep you from making trouble. Arse. That's good. They'll all behave. Is there anything else? I can... Actually, this is what I can do. I can mess with their army strength, but I won't. Let's... Actually, I will. You know what? I'm going to make them all really weak. I'm going to make them... Strength 1. Strength 1. So now all of their units are going to be behaving as if they had the snot beaten out of them. Sabines. You're the ones that everybody are after right now, so you tell you what. Your army can be at 20%. Don't take advantage of my kindness. And the Volsky. Parse. Just to show you what that does when we get back into the game. Alright, so now we have to save the save game. Good. This process takes a little while. Not like super long, but longer than I like. If I click on it, like right now it's telling me you guys can't see it, but it says save parser is not responding. But that's just because it takes a while to finish what it's doing. And it's still not responding. But yeah, I'll show you, I think the Volsky armies we can see, I'll show you what happens when I send them to 1% strength. I mean, I can tell you right ahead of time, right now. So each unit... Oh, yeah, focus webcam. Each unit in one of the armies, obviously they have their different sizes, but I think the standard like infantry unit size is 160 men. And basically, if I drop it to 1%, each unit of 160 men has one guy in it. Which I suppose isn't quite correct. Because, like, if you drop something... Well, I don't know. Now I'm going to check it on my phone while I'm still waiting for this to load. What is 1% of 160? It's 1.6 men. Okay. I suppose I could have done that in my head. But hey, I'm a history guy, not a math guy. You want a math guy, go to watch a different streamer. A streamer who's not me. Watch one of the people who streams Kerbal Space Program. Alright, we're going to close that. I'm going to remove that window capture. There we go. Good. So now we're going to load our save game. I know. We'll lose all of our progress. The progress that we have made. But everyone should be at war. Who was at war should be at peace. And the Morosini should be back to being our faithful client state. If this works. So let's check the diplomacy. They are back to being our faithful client state. Oh. Game crashed. There was a chance of that happening. Alright. No big deal. I will load the game back up. Yeah, I found that immediately after using Save Parser, if you spend too much time poking around at the details in the diplomacy thing, it'll crash the game. So, I shouldn't have clicked. I shouldn't have clicked when I did. Because, I should have expected that. But it's alright. The save file is fine. So, here we go. Maybe? You can, there we go. So if I go load campaign. I don't know what's up with this rocket bird. Little splash screen. But I like it. It's pretty neat. I think wooden rocket birds would make a great Total War weapon. Alright. But these guys are peaceful again. You can tell because their borders are blue. They're quite angry with us right now. There is this whole besiege thing going on right now, which there's nothing I can do about. Hopefully that will break. But just to show you, when we did... So their armies are now, look, each of these got like 1 or 2 guys in it. Their army, their health. That's what mucking about with the army strength does. So, let's hope the game doesn't crash when we hit end turn. I know we literally just started that turn and we're ending it, but I want to make sure that the actual game resolves the changes that we did with Save Parser and not just rely on that. So hopefully that'll make a difference. Otherwise, I'm going to have to figure out a new way to do this campaign. Now, Sabines Can you knock that off, please? I kind of wish that I could just be like, go away. I suppose... I don't want to go back into save parser again. We'll just have to deal with the consequences of whatever happens here. Although I have a feeling I know what the consequence is, and it's not going to be fun for me or you guys. They do a lot of repetitive... This stream is going to be very repetitive. More so than it already is. So I don't know why you guys watch me. Alright. Joking aside, let's see. We have... The factions are happy with us. The plebs will be angry for another 6 turns. We're losing 19 a turn here. Hoping to get a revolt. And otherwise, it's kind of a lot of just doing nothing. I can't build anything in Vey while their public order is negative. I can't build anything in Rome. I could upgrade in Latium, but our public order is at 0. So, this is going to be like the beginning of every game of Civilization I've ever played. Do one thing, hit next turn. Next turn you do one more thing, and then you hit the next turn button. And you do that for like probably a half an hour until you actually have like gameplay. A very early Civilization is very much a matter of like, I have 2 decisions to make. The Volsky made war, attacked the Samnites. Vasily are destroyed. Populace is encouraged. Yes. I might have to force the Sabines to leave this siege. And I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. I mean, I know how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna have to go back and save parser. Well, nothing for it. I'm gonna do that real quick. So, like, literally, I'm not even gonna bother to make a. I'm not even gonna bother to make an extra window capture for it. You guys just saw what it is I did. All I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the Sabine army down to 1% strength and hope that that forces them to retreat. And it might not. There's a good chance that it won't. But it's the only thing that I really can do here. Because otherwise you guys are going to have to watch for me to have to repop the Umbri out, and we're just playing constant whack-a-mole. And I don't want to do that. And it's not that I don't want to do it for myself, because if I was playing this game entirely by myself, I would all day. I would just march back and forth, forcing all of my client states to behave, because that's what the Romans did. Then, if you go to Livy and you look at what it is that they were doing, they were constantly like dealing with this and that, going back and forth all the time in the very early history of Rome. Like, oh, we beat up our neighbor, now they're being uppity again, let's go beat them up a second time. However, I feel like you guys would get really tired of watching that. If you wouldn't, I mean, tell me, because we can do it that way. But I'm here to be the voice of reason and be like, are you? I'm the Windows pop-up that tells you, are you sure you really want to do this? And everyone is like, yes, I'm sure I really want to do this, but sometimes it's good to have that dialog box. Alright, who are we talking about here? The Sabines. Parse. Strength. Your strength is now 1. Parse that. Can I do anything else about them? I don't think so. No, I don't want to edit the character. Alright. So let's save that, and we'll see if that'll get that working. In the meantime, I'm just talking to you guys like this. I will go into the big screen mode.
5,000 years of Chinese music and dance in one night.
No one cares about 4,000 years of Chinese music in one night. I mean, it sounds awesome, but it is not in any way related to the stream. There we go. Change the music over. The save is done. We'll go back to this, and we will go load the game right here. Yes, I know. Alright, fingers crossed. Everyone in chat, I want you, and everyone watching at home, I want you, whether you're a lurker or not, I want you to cross your fingers, all of them, if you can. It's very hard to cross all of your fingers. Just cross them. That we do not have to go into Safe Parser again. Because this is a game stream, not a Matt cheats a game. Or a I cheat at games stream. Because that's a very different show. Alright. So now your strength should be really weak. It's a full 20 stack army, unlike these guys. You can see when they're not at war or anything, these guys actually get their strength back pretty quickly. But for a couple of turns, at least, it means that they're not doing anything. So, we'll end the turn hoping the Sabines retreat. It is really funny that they can continue to siege a settlement that they're not at war with, but that's entirely because of our mucking around with the game mechanics and not... The game is working how it's supposed to. It's just that when we mess around with it, it stops working as intended. And they did. So, I believe there's no army. The the Sabine army might have just disintegrated. I'm not going to load up Save Parser, but I'm pretty sure their army is just gone. I think by putting them at 1%, and while they were standing here, they were getting attrition from being besieged. And so they just attritioned to death. Which I suppose leaves them vulnerable to any of these guys attacking them. And then we'll have to go into Save Parser again. So that's why your fingers need to be crossed, all of you. Do it for the good of the stream. Alright, we've got armor, we've got charge bonus, melee defense, that sounds good. Or morale defense, whatever it is. You can boost up Hostia. make a little bit more money. And we continue the waiting game. If you don't know what we're waiting for Alba Fusens right here in the middle to go into revolt. And the Aiqui will reappear. And then we'll have even more little client states that we have to manage. I'm starting to regret this. But I have made a decision and I must stick to it. Alright. People got increases in their abilities, population surplus. Does that mean I can... Yes, I can build something here in Antium. What is your biggest public order issue? Cultural differences is not changing. We can't make it any more Latin because of the presence of the Volsky, I think. I mean, we could with... No, because that gives us +3 cultural influence, so... I'm gonna do more sanitation stuff, because we can offset the squalor, and that'll make them happier, which will allow us to bump this stuff up. Spend most of our money there in that turn. How many more turns do we have left on the plebs being mad at us? We got 3. And that's really helping us. I don't know if there's anything else I can do to make them mad. I could raise taxes. You know what? Let's do it. So everywhere else is positive. -21. I should have done that earlier. Right, you have leveled up. When that guy dies, when this guy, Quintus Vicenius Pavilis, dies, he's 39. He'll be around for a little while. When he dies, it's going to be a sad day, because look at this guy. This guy is, like, made for drilling troops. In fact, those guys are all silvers. These guys are first tier of gold. And you guys are first tier of gold. So they're all leveling up pretty well. These guys are all ranked up. This guy is Marcus Fusus, if I recall correctly. Let's look at his details here. Yeah, he's not a drill guy. Like, he is not really boosting them much, if at all. Agrippa here. He is a drill sergeant, but he doesn't have the native trait that that this guy has. He does not have athlete, which also gives an extra 30 experience. We're going to be making a whole lot more money with the taxes higher, so we can save up some for buildings. We'll drop it back down afterwards. How is the... You know, I'm going to not do the Attila soundtrack right now. So the Attila soundtrack is a little bit too quiet for me. That sounds pretty good. I can actually hear that playing. So one downside to the Attila soundtrack is that there are some moments where I'm like, is this playing or is this not? If I boost it up so that I can hear it, I also can't think. It's a careful balance. Like if I can't focus on what I'm trying to say, oh man. You guys are gonna be like, just watching me stare at the screen and go, and I feel like I do that enough as it is, even between my words. So, what are you guys up to anyway?
At your service.
You should be doing other things.
Sabotage.
I should check on...
It is done.
Oh, so you're trying to attack these guys, maybe? Where are all of our spies anyway? Have we checked out Sicily? No, we haven't. We have checked out all of Italy, so you come down here. Where are you? You're the one I just used. And you are way down here. Alright, well, you steal food. Good. I feel like we haven't been taking advantage of our spies. And I was right. Second, I just gotta check something here.
Some in the state are known to have lavish tastes.
So
These
you
men
want a
remember with
defensive
fondness
alliance?
those who help fund such tastes.
The problem is that you're too big, and I want to bust you up. So that's a no. I'm not gonna do it right now, but it is on the table. It's a goal for dealing with you. So troubled populace, probably because of all of the negative public order stuff. The angry plebs we get one more turn out of. I don't think there's anything else I can do to piss these guys off. Could reduce their slave population decline. Maybe? I'll try that. Might make them a little more angry. Because, like, these guys were upset before for, like, -13 for slaves, and it's coming down. So maybe if, I can afford to do that. It's just one public order per turn. Not yet for you. I'm not going to do anything in Corfinium. And right now we're just kind of on autopilot. These guys are like at -30 or
A
something.
freely given gift is like a gentle spring shower, unexpected and refreshing.
Why would I want military access with you? Oh Jesus, have you guys gotten big, huh? Like, the Etruscan League is like the beast you cannot kill. We went to war with them, we beat them up, We tried to break up their power, and they're just, they're in recovery mode. All right. Unhappy populace. All right. Where's our spy? You steal food. Spy down here. We should actually, make them do something, I suppose.
Skills are
Get a couple more turns of this. Negative 57. For losing 15 a turn. 3 turns before the revolt shows up. And that's hoping that none of our allies do anything about it. Can do something here in Latium, actually. So if we build the slave trader, which is what I want, that'll be -4. I can't afford to do anything with sanitation yet, but we will next turn.
The time has come to consider how we might both benefit from the developing situation.
Fine. That aggression pact is fine. I don't intend on going to war with you right away. That's the other, I will say to you guys, the other thing that I've discovered in the Rise of Rome DLC, and it's a problem that all the Total War games have, and the campaigns, it's basically impossible to have kind of a patchwork quilt of all these little factions, because one or two, once they start to get big enough, will overrun the whole. They'll the ones who win will balloon and they'll snowball until you get a bunch of bigger factions who are constantly butting heads. And even between the bigger factions, it's like the one who is able to beat. So, for example, let's not that these are particularly large factions, but let's look at the map right now. This is the wrong one. Let's look at the strategic overview. So, take Taras here. They're pretty big right now. I've seen them get much bigger, but they're pretty big, and they're definitely fighting with Syracuse right now. And from what I can tell, Syracuse probably has the whole of Sicily. What will happen is, if these two fight with each other, one side is going to end up being marginally ahead of the other. Will have a slight advantage over the other. But it's enough that in the long term, that faction will beat out the other and just swallow it eventually. And then it just becomes a super faction. There's a Reddit thread, I want to say, that has, it's not Total War Rome 2, it's the original Rome Total War. And basically, it's one where this person recorded games that were entirely played by the AI and see who won. And usually it was the Roman factions, but specific Roman factions would win more than others. But you could just see how over the course of, a grand campaign, the little differences between factions that give a slight advantage when played out over the long term basically makes them swallow up everything else. So as much as I like the Rise of Rome DLC for having a patchwork of tiny, little Italian nations in it, all of those factions ends up disappearing partway into the game. And you yourself, as you get stronger, you prey upon all of those weak little factions, right? Because it's easier for you to beat up a guy who's only got 2 settlements than it is for you to go, like for us in Rome. It's way easier for us to go after the Samnites right now, who've only got maybe like 3 or 4 provinces, than to go after Taras. So it's dealing with stuff in that way that's really going to be how the game progresses. So we've got 3 turns or 2 more turns till these guys go. Hopefully. Can we... We'll get the cavalry training, and that'll give us another experience rank for all of our infantry recruits. That'll be good. We got our generals waiting on the sidelines. We can boost this temple in Rome. We can't afford the latrines because I just spent that money. Shame on me. I mean, I can undo that. So we'll do that. And the next turn we'll build the temple in Rome. The temple is less important.
My work is done for now.
You're offering
Trade with you.
trade
Will of the gods.
and money. I'll take it. I'm always happy to accept trade agreements. Yeah, rebellion is about to happen
How can I
in Sabinia. Alright, so you're just gonna scope out the map for us. Vibia Hula. That faction is gone. People are pissed off. Less growth here. Which is fine. 1 turn is exactly enough that we need for them to go into rebellion. I can afford this. Those are being built. What do we need here? What is the public order? The public order is 8. Slaves is going away. Cultural differences is pretty much gone. What do we want? Wealth from commerce. I can't afford the slave trader right now. But it's good. It's good for industry, agriculture, and gives us commerce. So it's kind of good across the board. It's the most generic economic one of these. I don't even know what this building tree is called. I know it's a public forum. Just the yellow ones. You could go with something else though. Wealth from entertainment / culture I've never understood, because there's no buildings you can build that really stack modifiers to it. So it's okay, but it's not great. Wealth from commerce, but we've got a little bit of commerce. We've got agriculture. See, this one gives us a little bit of commerce, but it gives us food, but we don't need food. This is a food-producing province. We can improve the tax rate and corruption, give a better public order. And this is like sole, the shop is like sole commerce focus. And we don't have any other commerce buildings. This gives us wealth from industry, wealth from all commerce, wealth from subsistence, as opposed to one of these, the farming ones gives us wealth from agriculture. So it's kind of split. I think the best thing is a slave trader, and we can't afford it. So we wait. And just as I was worried about,
The goods we have to offer are of the highest quality.
alright, I'll trade with you. So the army... The army that appeared, it looks like,
For one of the
is...
younger peoples, you show great promise.
Whatever. So a rebellion happened, but you'll notice these guys are Italic rebels.
The soldiers of Rome will serve you well.
Not
Them down.
the rebels that we
They
want.
can run, but they can't hide.
Kill them.
Was there something else you needed?
The worst part about this is now the public order
What is your next command?
is coming back up. The military crackdown means that it's not going to drop. It's 80%. So we're going to be doing this for a little while until we get the right rebels to show up. Hopefully the next turn will be it, though. If I do this, though,
Patrols
we get military presence. And you can see, there you go, military presence +5, plus the crackdown. We'll never get the rebels to show up.
ready for more.
And if I did that for both armies, we would start gaining positive public order. We do have a bunch of money now, so we can do the slave trader. Those guys are in progress. You're in progress. I do realize that I may have just brought it very close to rebellion. For not rebellion, but negative public order for Vey. Oh, Taras is advancing on these guys, which is kind of mixed. Alright, you... Sure. End the turn. I'm not giving that guy a promotion, that general, the one who crushed those rebels, because that will actually... Ooh, excuse me. Giving him a promotion will make him naturally, perhaps, reduce public order in that province. Faction encountered. We've met Carthage. Which is funny, because we've been talking to Carthage for a while, so... Alright. Good. Rebels, come on. Honestly, only -4 food in Sabinia astounds me. because we have -6 food times 3. So -18 food, but it's offset by the 10, 14 there. Oh, and each one gets an extra 2. So, huh. That's surprising. Our spy has leveled up. Steel technology. I'm a little bothered that Taris is so close to us. You can see there, I mean, they border us here and here now. I hope that they aren't going to make a move towards us. I mean, we do have to do something about them. Yep, now there. They took that other town. I will attend this banquet. Alright. We should have a rebellion imminent yet again. So Taras has all of these settlements now. Except for Terventum and Herdonia. Looks like the Samnites rather retook Capua from Taras, but their war is not going well back and forth. Syracuse took Elia from Neapolis, and I don't know what the relations between those two are. Naples, you are defensive allies of Taras, and you're at war with the Samnites at Syracuse and Pyligny. Taras, you're at war with basically the same people as Neapolis is. Your allies are Rhegium and Neapolis. Pyligny, you are at war with everybody. Sucks to be you, buddy. Probably the same for the Samnites. Alright. Please, rebels, show up here. Yes, I don't care. Of course, even when they show up, they will not march on the city right away. They need to build their strength, or they might go into, like... The worst thing that they can do is go into raiding mode. Loyalty. Okay, we got some loyalty. That's good. I don't know why our view was stuck way down there.
Rome? You fight for Rome? Attack! Destroy these pitiful
Why do you
soldiers.
keep doing this?
Was there something else you needed?
We live to...
So yeah, apparently this is going to be the new state of things. Alright, you go explore. Actually, once you're there, I will have you explore. So I'm going to keep forgetting about her. At least by having that happen, I can kind of remember what she's up to. So she's doing that. We've got burning through technology. We'll go for the useless naval training. Turn. Alright, that's good. That's good. That's good. No more places I can build things, I think, except for Corfinium. You know what? I'll go for it. Good enough. All right. Awesome. So a lot of sitting on our hands while we wait
Come on.
for the rebels to show up again. We have, what do we have? We got,
We await orders.
oh, so the Legion leveled up. Can go to level 2. Can we replace you with someone even less cool? Amelia, Furia. So who are these guys? Politics. Characters. Alright, so who are the free men available? Spurious Metalinus here. He's Consular Tribune, but he actually doesn't have, as far as I can tell, anything that reduces public order. This guy improves public order, but only when that edict is in place. He's got +1 public order, though. He's also, I believe, already in charge of... Yeah, he's in charge of the army at Corfinium. You are the one that we took out. We can change out your dude, your old dude. +1 line of sight. That is like the most useless thing I can think of. Minus 20% slave unrest, so you might not be perfect. Also, okay, you look older than you are. Calvus, +2 public order. So you're a bad choice. And you are a great choice, so not you. So Spurious Metalinus would be better, just to get slightly more out of you. Who is the general here? +2 authority, wealth, loyalty.
Rome is the
Whereas
coming
you +2 public order. So let's, we'll give you some random upgrade. Warrior, sure. But we're going to replace you with Spurious
The
Metalinus.
soldiers of Rome will serve you well.
That gave us an extra little negative. Again, it's like 3 turns each time to wait for these guys to go into revolt. Just passing the time. Rank that an abundant harvest. Oh no. +5 public order in all provinces.
Rome is the coming force.
Damn it. So how long is that going to last for? 4 turns of +5 public order. Just, like, I want one thing. I want the Iqui to rebel. Take over Alba Fusens. We force them to be our client state. Is that too much to ask? Otherwise, we're just sitting here. Which is fine. We get to pass the time. Like, the first Samnite War. Like, and they're the Samnite Wars are the big ones, too. First Samnite War is not for, like, another decade plus. I think it's a decade. A little less. Probably 8 years. I don't remember exactly. First Samnite. Okay, I lied. I'm wrong. First Samnite War wasn't until 343 BC. Thought it was in the 360s. So, we've got 30 years. 30 years before we can attack the Samnites. Not that the Samnites will be around in 30 years, but 30 years till we're expanding in the south here. I'm not gonna make us wait that long. But I could, damn it. That's the one upside to playing the Grand Campaign, is the years pass so quickly when it's like, you know, 2 turns a year. 4. I don't remember how many turns per year is in the Rise of Rome DLC. Is this autumn? I think this is 4 turns a year. What is it? Caesar and Gaul? That campaign? It's freaking like 12 turns a year. Takes forever. Alright, we have our spy.
Shadow, shadow.
She's gonna go
My work is done.
spy on. Yeah, it looks like, if I had to guess, it looks like Syracuse has the whole of Sicily. Rhegion only has its one city, and probably because Syracuse hasn't actually directly attacked it. The Neapolis is barely hanging on. The Samnites are holding out. These guys are getting their butts kicked. Marosini, did you... Alright. Game crashed. You know, I think the game crashing is a sign. I'm going to take a break. I'm going to call it here for now. I'm getting a little frustrated with just the back and forth of not getting what I want to have happen. So what I think I'm going to do, here, let me pop it up into the webcam. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll be straight up with you guys. I'm going to cheat some more. I'm going to use save parser. I'm going to straighten out some of this stuff with the client states, and I'm going to getting a little fuzziness on my. It's the silver color of my mic is reflecting the green of my green screen, and so it is not doing very well. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna play, and I'm gonna play a few turns like off stream of this game, and I'm gonna try and get those I'm going to try and get the Igui to pop out. I don't know why that was so hard for my brain to recall that. So, yeah, it's going to be... Today is a short stream. It's only been like 2 hours. But I think, with the crashes, and the crash is certainly my fault. That's from messing around in Save Parser, and you have to do that very carefully. But I think I'm going to call it for now. I'm going to try and fix this to see if we can keep going with the plan that I have going. And if, for whatever reason, we can't, if my ambition to do this whole client state thing is just not going to work, I'm gonna load up a game again off stream where all of the factions are like at the very beginning of the game, where all the factions haven't been destroyed yet, except for the few that, not that they're destroyed, but the few that pop up during the course of the game, like the Herpini and the Masilii and a few others. But aside from those factions, I'm gonna load up a game and I'm gonna check out like the personalities of each of the factions, because I've seen across the board every game that I've played of Rise of Rome, their personalities are more or less the same. So the Volsky are always warlike and treacherous, right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the factions that are going to be the easiest to manage, the ones that are loyal, and the ones that aren't very warlike. And I'm going to make them... I'm going to write those down. I'll have a note file for that. And we'll do a game where I go with this plan, the one that I've been going for, but instead of doing every faction I can, it'll be the ones that we can manage. Because if it continues like this, and it's a constant state of going back and forth between trying to make client states out of unwilling factions, which is hard, keep our client states from going to war with each other, which breaks our alliances, and I have to do it all over again. And just the waiting forever to make these client states pop out through rebellion. The best time to do it is right after you capture them. So, to be honest, I think the best thing to do is reapproach this next week. Hi, Gadza 511. I'm actually signing out right now, so I feel really bad that you just showed up and said hi. But we've been having trouble with some game crashes, and I was just explaining that maybe the approach that I've been taking to this particular campaign might be flawed. And so I'm going to spend some time between now and next week. And I'm going to see if I can figure out what the root behind these crashes is, and see if the approach that I'm using is going to be good, or if we're just going to have to go with a straight conquest run, which I know is going to be more entertaining for you guys. You guys are going to like it more because it's more action. But at the same time, you snowball so quickly that I feel like it's unfair. In like 30 years, I've had control of most of the peninsula of Italy, whereas, by the point in the game that we are now, in the 370s BC, like just 20-ish years in, we're looking at like 30 years into the game, sorry. We're looking at like the 370s. The territory that Rome held was really tiny, was pathetically tiny. They should not have control of most of Italy at that point. And that's just a consequence of the way the game snowballs. So I think going for client states is the play that's best to kind of compromise between realism and also pacing the game hideously slowly for you guys. But the way that I've been doing it thus far, which is taking everybody I can, no matter how warlike and how treacherous and how much that they stab us in the back and cause us trouble, might be a little bit too ambitious. So I will be back in a week from today. Go back about 2 hours from right now. That's when I start. And we'll be doing this again. hopefully I can get this save to work, and we can keep going with this one. And if it doesn't, I'll do some, I'll work something out. And what we might do is we might actually take a break from the Rise of Rome DLC. We'll go into maybe Empire Divided for some more action, because that Empire Divided is like all action all the time. So we might do that. So anyways, I hope you guys join me next week, and I hope that this week was not too much of a disappointment, and I'll see you next time.